2024 marked our second full year in business, and what an incredible journey it's been. We reached new heights, expanded globally, and saw remarkable growth across every metric. However, our recent peak season also highlighted areas where we can improve and refine our processes to sustain this rapid expansion. We believe there's always room for growth, and mediocrity is never an option for us. Welcome to Relay Distro.
Really, let's just line down a bunch of pallets and make one full pallet of smalls varsity, mediums varsity, large varsity, and then we'll switch to zip-up jacket, small, medium, large, XL, and then same with tees, because I'll have to come up with something else. We may just have to pick them off the floor right here, because if they all sold out, we're wasting our time putting them in a bin, then overstock, if we're just going to go fly through them. So again, we ended up not doing a standard procedure, and you'll find that out pretty fast in the warehouse industry. Sometimes it hurts you to actually be perfect. So as much as we would like to do a proper process, get it in, book it, put it onto shelves, this client's a little bit different because they do pre-orders. So we've been actually waiting for the shipment, and there's already been orders in the system with it. So we actually decided to just place it all on this wall right here and keep it on pallets for a faster pick. That way we only had to touch it 1 or 2 times instead of potentially 3 to 4. Because if we did it the proper way, we would have had to put it on a pallet, bring it over into a normal fulfillment area with the bins. We'd have to have somebody open up the box, take out all of the items, and then put it into a bin. So this way we actually just left it straight on the pallet and assigned it where it was. Because this is pre-orders, it already sold out. So yes, you want to follow the proper steps, but this just made it way more efficient. So now we can clear this out and then put the next shipment that comes in here or move a new client. But this actually saved us a lot of time from not being perfect. So just kind of for an example, if you come look at this bin right here, if we were to take those pallets from over there, we would literally have to unload 1 box, potentially in this size bin, maybe fit 10 hoodies. The boxes were coming with around 12. So we would be able to fit 1 product here, and then we'd have to store all the rest of the boxes in overstock. So literally we would have to take 1 person to restock all day just to keep this 1 bin fed. Because, you know, with this, we don't want to fill up a bunch of different bins with the same exact SKU. So just for perspective, that's why it made so much more sense to keep them on the pallets. Literally, we had 10 to 20 boxes of the same exact product on 1 pallet instead of sitting here all day restocking from up there. So we saved a lot of time right there, and we'll get these orders out quicker because we did that. They actually sold these orders probably like 4 to 5 months ago. So we had about 2,000 orders release once we put all of them into the pallets and be able to pick them. And a lot of them were actually singles, so we did a bulk ship. So if you can do bulk ship, you always want to do that because it saves a picker from going out there and spending their time picking items when you can just print it and go grab the items per the box and actually pack them up. So we've been working on a lot of singles today, but also we've had a lot of carts come into here that are multi-items. So if a customer ordered obviously 1 or more items, then it would get put into a cart and picked. But if it's a single, we would just pack it up and ship it. But yeah, this is what the queue looks like with everything. It was about 2,000 orders, and we want to get all of these orders out by the end of the week, and those customers will be happy because they've been waiting on this for a while.
Is the V-shape shading?
Mm-hmm.
The V shading?
That's 1020.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually like pretty much everything about it already. The fitting is great. It's 100% true to size. I just wanted to make it a little tighter on the waist to avoid like this extra like fabric.
So this is the revised 2016.
Yeah, got it. 2016.
You said the fabric was too rough, huh?
I know it's like, I saw some notes on being rough.
I like it.
I personally like it as well.
I like it, bro.
It's not bad.
Nice little.
What do you think, Tristan?
This
decent
is
stretch.
actually not bad in terms of like the fabric itself.
I think it's a great fabric,
Yeah,
but
the
it's
fabric
just
is
also
good, yeah.
because you guys
Were you the
have
one that said
bigger
it was too
legs.
rough?
Yeah.
Because it feels like it's like it has a little bit of stretch to it as well.
Does it have mechanical stretch too?
It's like very little bit.
I mean, just because the weights.
Yeah.
Okay, 95.5.
Yeah.
So that would also soften the fabric a little bit too.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit. We could always add a soft wash to it, but if it's too tight to put it your hands in, then what we can do
I noticed that it's a little tight for them to put their hands in. Ecovision is, we've been working with them since like February of 2024, and we've been developing a lot of different things for them. Probably one of my favorite clients to work with. They allow us to be very creative. They take advice really well, and then also we just make a great partnership. So had a lot of stuff that we needed to approve. Ashley's here, which is our account manager, Derek's wife, and then we also have Clarence here as well. Just like bringing in more people as we grow and just giving Echo more resources within our team to make sure like everyone's on board and giving their proper feedbacks and critiques to help streamline this thing as Echo continues to grow, right? Echo is growing exponentially. They grew a lot in 2024. We were super grateful to be a part of that. And now 2025 is going to be huge for them. So I would expect like a 2-3x minimum for them. And that means more product, more designs, and just overall just more demand, right? So we want to make sure that they're heavily assisted in everything that they need. I wasn't even doing anything. Like everyone here is just crushing it. So in the world of like product development and design, right? Like there's a couple of stages, right? Sometimes you'll design some stuff, you'll love it, it comes to life, you'll try it on, you'll go through multiple fittings, and then all of a sudden the fourth fitting or third fitting, you realize you don't like that product anymore and you scratch it completely, and that happens, right? Like there's some times where you don't like a certain product after giving it thought for a longer period of time. And then there's certain products that like just when you design them and they come to life, you really don't like them. And then there's designs that it just becomes perfect. So it's so important that you have, with a brand, like you have the right fit models and you're definitive as a team to decide, okay, this is what I want, this is what we're gonna push forward with. And that way, like someone like us, a design team, can really help streamline that process and make sure like it comes to life as fast as possible. Because design like full from scratch, like when you build things from scratch, it takes a while to come to life, right? You have your conceptualizations, your inspirations, and then your multiple rounds, and then the bulk order. Like there's so much that goes into play, and it also takes time. Like when you're working with like any designer or a company, like an agency, like it takes time to learn each other, and it's kind of like you have to be patient in the beginning or even towards the end of like learning each other and learning the designs you want and what you really love and what you don't like. And then, once you work together for a certain period of time and you grow with each other, like, what you want. So yeah, just, in design, communicate, and just be transparent.
Line one, so it doesn't recognize it, or they don't put a zip code. That's the biggest thing too. Is like then you're having to Google like, does Hong Kong have a zip code? And then you put it in, and then some countries just don't, so you have to put in 3 letters, or you just put 5 zeros.
Yeah.
So it's just.
I think we can just talk to them and be like, hey, like we recommend.
I told them that. I mean, I said, hey, please be on the lookout. This, it would really speed our shipping up because we're having to sit here.
The thing
and
is,
spend
like,
time
it's
with
not
Google
going to
Maps.
flag it in Shopify. So what they need is they need to have.
They need
like,
to export it, and if they see like really long addresses.
Yeah, or there's apps that will catch that too, like that you can.
Because it's not a
Now,
validation.
if you've ever like bought some online and it says, please confirm your like what you entered, and then it's like what the
You mean like
registered
a
address
checkbox?
is. No, like it'll pop up and say like,
Please confirm your
confirm your address. Like,
or like final sale, make you check
Yeah.
a box. Yeah.
One of our clients does a lot of pre-orders, but they also do a lot of international orders as well. So something you're going to come across when that happens is you're going to see a lot of addresses that you're not used to seeing. We've gotten some addresses in a completely different language, so we're trying to troubleshoot those with our client so that we can find them faster next time, because a lot of the times we're going to scan a tote, we're going to scan each item, and then we're going to hit print, and then all of a sudden we get this error, usually an address error. Could be a lot of things. It could be no zip code, because a lot of other countries, if you don't know, don't have zip codes. So there's a lot of troubleshooting you have to do to look it up, see if it has a zip code, see if it doesn't. A lot of the times, if it doesn't have a zip code, it is known that you would just put like 5 zeros, and that's a way to bypass the zip code because these other countries are in a different format for their addresses, so that is one way to bypass it, is to put in like 5 zeros for a zip code. But just working on some things on the back end, trying to set up some automation rules. So something I'm trying to do is I'm actually like looking up Chinese characters to be able to set a automation where it will recognize these characters and immediately place these onto an address hold so that our client can go in and fix these before they actually come to the pack. Because it is a huge impact. You wouldn't think it is, but when you're having to go through, if you have 2,000 orders and 250 orders of these are affected, for let's say for an example, that's 250 orders that may take us up to a minute to correct. So that is a lot of downtime. That does slow us down a lot. So that's just something you're going to run into with e-commerce and different brands that you have. You know, everybody's different. We don't get that many internationals, but this client of ours specifically does a lot of international. So it's something we're learning as we go and just problem solving, trying to catch them before they actually come to the pack so that the packers can just pack.
First of all, shout out Max calling us out that our sound sucks on our channel. We've had these mics forever, and I think we use them occasionally. But in my defense, we did move into new offices upstairs, and they're very echoey. We just have not hung our stuff. So hopefully the sound is to your standards. Anyway, come to find out, all of my employees started this new thing called Wine Down Friday at 5 p.m. where they stay after hours and drink wine in the office. And I was not invited. They didn't tell me. I just found out, actually found out from Ashley,
I'm not even
my wife. I find out from my wife, who helps us out on the pro dev side of things. She's our account manager.
He was invited.
At 5:08 p.m. today.
We waited for Dakota.
No, I'm talking about yesterday. You're like, oh, I'm going to stay. I might come to the office and do Wine Down Friday with Dakota. And I'm like, what is this? And she's just like. But anyway, I'm all for it as long as it's after hours, not non-business hours. Cool. So what are we tasting? Is this the first video of 2025? Welcome to 2025. Got my game day gear on, hook 'em. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about this week, and then we're gonna run through some challenges and things from 2024 that we want to discuss. So this week, I know Kevin was harping on the Ebico launch that we received. They had a huge pre-order, received it. We did end up knocking it all out. All the orders were cleared by the promised date that we gave our client, which was awesome. Team came in, crushed it, kept us busy this week. We also had some time to reorganize. I'm not sure if Austin has shown any of the warehouse, but we reorganized a lot, moved a lot of things around, and I think that was one of the challenges last year especially during Black Friday with our PO install, like we got a little bit out of hand with organization and, some clients having some things deliver last minute that needed to go live and things like that. So the warehouse looks great right now, and we have a lot of space to fill. So let's talk about some challenges. Challenges when it comes to 3PL, I think you're always going to find client relations as one of them. Just learning your client learning you, learning their product, learning your processes. There's always going to be back and forth of what you're going to be able to do and handle versus what they can handle and they can do. And yeah, there's a huge learning curve when you onboard, right? So and then just you have to set the expectations, and then as a service provider, you never really want to it's hard to say no sometimes, right? Like, hey, this delivered today, can you book it into today, even though our SLA says 3 days or whatever. And doing those little things kind of adds up, becomes the expectation, and then it's sort of like, hey, well, you didn't book this in. Well, we're still within our SLAs, but it becomes a letdown, right? So it's hard for us, because we always want to please and do a good job. And of course, whenever we can, we will go above and beyond. But there are times when operations become constrained to where you can't, right? You can't hit those, or you can't exceed the expectation or over deliver, and it sucks, right? So I think a challenge is finding out that middle ground, right, for us, and setting expectations and actually holding our ground with our contracts and expectations that we set. So I think a challenge for us was learning client relations and all that, and one of the resolutions is like implementing an account manager to be able to just stay on top of day-to-day communications and things like that. And that even trickles down to like, whenever there's address issues or orders that there's an issue with that can't ship. Not that it happens often, but it does happen to where, we need to have that back and forth. A lot of that was on me, and a lot of it is on Kevin right now, but as we grow and scale, little things like that can't always be handled by us. So one of the solutions for that is an account manager. So we're really, really looking forward to growing that aspect and, trying to provide a little bit more proactive type service. This was a lot of discussions that Kevin and I have had recently is, we want to be more proactive with things, like if orders are stuck, order issues with shipments, if they're delayed, stuck, lost, et cetera, address issues, let's be proactive, let our customers know before, they get an email from their customer or they're emailing us or requesting that from us. So, you want to be very proactive and on top of things and providing a good service. Not that we have not been, but I think we can be better, right? And then I think ultimately one of the biggest challenges for everybody is getting more business, right? So, Daniel and I, we have a lot of space to fill now. So, challenge last year, I think we kind of leveled off. We hit a point where we, kind of got at capacity for a minute, and our sales kind of trickled a little bit. We didn't go as hard. We kind of focused more on Q4, right? Getting the PO. Our priorities kind of shifted a little bit from sales to kind of just survival of Q4 and get all this done. Granted, we did a great job at it and we knocked it out of the park, but now we're kind of going back into sales mode, and all right, we have a lot of space to fill. We have a lot of space in the PO. Now in the aisles, we have the upstairs that's empty, and then we have a lot of pallet storage. So with that being said, we do have a lot of great things on the horizon. We've had some great meetings, potential partnerships that will hopefully be very fruitful for both parties involved. So yeah, back to the drawing board. We're going to hit it hard with sales, and we're going to fill this space up, and we're going to continue to improve all of our processes. And I think that's just a part of owning a business, is how do we get better every single day? And how do we overcome all these hurdles without falling on our face, which I did a lot when I was in college. And my coach tried to make me run hurdles. It's not a fun thing.